What if I told you that the person who will live to be 150 years old has already been born? What if the concept of energy became as free as the air you breathe, and disease was treated not with medicine, but with code? We are traveling to the year 2100. But before we look at how we survive, ask yourself this. In a world where technology manages your biology, your climate, and your thoughts, what will be left for you to decide?
Chapter 1. The Waking Mind. Neurointegration and Health. It is Tuesday, October 14th, 2100. Meet Kai. He doesn't wake up to a jarring alarm. In 2100, audio alarms are considered barbaric relics of the 20th century. Instead, Kai wakes up because the smart matter sheets covering him have slowly lowered his body temperature by 0.5 degrees, while the ambient oxygen levels in the room were raised by 2%. His home is not a static box of bricks. It is a semi-biological machine that maintains homeostasis, just like a human body. This is the BCI, the brain-computer interface. By 2100, the smartphone is extinct. Handheld screens were an awkward bridge technology. Today, the internet is not something you look at, it is something you feel. As Kai stirs, the BCI reads his cortisol levels. They are low. Good. It gently stimulates the reticular activating system in his brainstem, simulating the feeling of a natural, energetic wake-up. He doesn't need coffee to feel alert. Neurostimulation handles the adenosine receptors in his brain instantly. Scientific context. We are extrapolating from current advancements in Neuralink and non-invasive BCIs. By 2100, the bandwidth between the human cortex and the cloud will likely be seamless, allowing for bidirectional data transfer, uploading thoughts, downloading sensory data. Kai brushes his teeth, but the toothbrush is doing more than cleaning enamel. It is collecting a saliva sample. Within 3 seconds, a genomic sequencer in the handle analyzes his microbiome. Diagnostic complete. It detects a slight uptick in inflammatory markers, precursors to a common viral strain. Kai doesn't need to go to a doctor. He doesn't even need to take a pill. The sequencer signals the nanobots already circulating in his bloodstream. Tiny, graphene-based machines introduced during his yearly update. They receive the command, identify the viral proteins, and dismantle them on a molecular level. Kai is cured of a flu he didn't even know he had, all before he spits out the toothpaste. Let's pause and look deeper at Kai's biology. Inside his bloodstream, there are 3 distinct types of artificial agents currently active. 1. Respiricytes, artificial red blood cells. They store 200 times more oxygen than natural hemoglobin. This allows Kai to hold his breath for 15 minutes if he goes for a swim, or to sprint at full speed without getting winded. 2. Microfighters, mechanical white blood cells. If a new virus enters his system, these bots download the viral RNA signature from the global health cloud and physically rip the virus apart within minutes. 3. Neural lace, the mesh growing around his cortex. It doesn't just read thoughts, it backs them up. Every night, a compressed file of Kai's memories is stored in decentralized storage. If Kai were to suffer a catastrophic brain injury, his personality could be reconstructed. We have effectively digitized the soul. Chapter 2. The Living Architecture, Energy and Materials. Welcome to the metropolis of the 22nd century. The first thing you notice is the silence. The roar of the combustion engine is gone. The city hums, a low-frequency vibration of magnetic levitation and wind. Look closely at the building Kai lives in. It isn't made of dead concrete. It's constructed from carbon capture graphene concrete. Every square inch of the building's surface is absorbing CO2 from the atmosphere and locking it into the structure's lattice, strengthening the building while cleaning the air. And the windows? They aren't just glass, they are perovskite photovoltaic cells. Every transparent surface in this city is a solar panel. The entire skyscraper is a power plant. Scientific context. Energy in 2100 is likely post-scarcity. Between advanced nuclear fusion, commercialized around the 2050s, and high-efficiency solar integration into building materials, the cost of electricity has dropped to near zero. The street as we knew it, a dangerous slab of asphalt reserved for cars, is extinct. Autonomous logistics tunnels exist underground. The surface is reclaimed for biology. This re-greening wasn't an aesthetic choice, it was a survival necessity. The mid-century climate crisis, 2030 to 2060, forced humanity to adapt. We see massive algae bioreactors pulsing green on the sides of buildings. These tubes scrub the air 400 times more efficiently than trees and produce biofuel as a byproduct. The weather here is managed. You'll notice a shimmering mesh high above the city skyline. That is the atmospheric shield generator. It doesn't stop the rain, but it mitigates the extreme weather events, the superstorms that became common in the 2040s. We didn't fix the climate perfectly. We engineered our way around the damage.
Chapter 3. The commute, transportation and physics.
Kai works 50 miles away from his home. In 2024, this would have been a soul-crushing hour-long commute. In 2100, it takes 12 minutes. He enters the maglev network. His pod joins a stream of thousands of others, moving like a school of fish. There are no traffic lights, there are no collisions. A quantum traffic control system manages the velocity of every single atom in the transport grid. But Kai isn't just sitting there staring at the wall. The interior of the pod changes. The walls turn opaque and project a VR environment. Suddenly, Kai is sitting on a beach in the Maldives, or what's left of them. He is having a morning meeting with a colleague who is physically located in Lagos, Nigeria. They aren't looking at screens. Their BCs project the other person's avatar directly into their visual cortex. This is holographic telepresence. The feeling is so real that if the colleague hands Kai a virtual document, Kai's haptic gloves simulate the friction and weight of the paper. Why travel physically when the virtual world is indistinguishable from reality? Because humans, even in 2100, crave touch. We crave the real. And so, Kai is traveling to the physical office, a collaboration hub, because creative synthesis happens best when biological pheromones and subtle body language are present.
Chapter 4. The symbiotic workplace.
Kai arrives at work, but work in 2100 is fundamentally different from the labor of the 21st century. By the year 2050, the Great Displacement occurred. Artificial General Intelligence, AGI, surpassed human capability in data processing, logic, coding, legal analysis, and diagnostics. The fear was that humans would become obsolete. The reality was different. Humans became specialized. Kai is a planetary architect. In the past, this job required thousands of hours of drafting and calculation. Now, the AI handles the physics, the material science, and the structural integrity calculations in milliseconds. Kai's job is not to build, it is to envision. He provides the intent, the AI provides the execution. He is the conductor, the AI is the orchestra. Watch his hands. He is wearing haptic rings. As he touches the holographic building, force fields in the rings create resistance. He can feel the density of the materials he is manipulating. "Aria," Kai says. A disembodied, warm voice responds instantly, not from a speaker, but vibrated directly into his inner ear via bone conduction. "Ready, Kai," The structural integrity of the southern sea wall is at 98%. Shall I run the flood simulation? Run it, Kai says, but factor in a Category 6 storm surge. Scientific context: the human-AI symbiosis. In 2100, the economy is no longer based on labor hours. It is an attention economy and a creative economy. Basic needs, food, shelter, energy, are virtually free due to automation. Work is performed for social status, luxury credits, and the pursuit of meaning. The Category 6 storm reference alludes to the expanded Saphir-Simpson scale necessitated by climate change in the mid-century. This simulation uses more computing power than existed on the entire planet in 2020. It models every water molecule interacting with the concrete, and it happens in real time.
Chapter 5: Molecular Gastronomy. Lunch.
It is 1300 hours, time for caloric intake. In 2100, the factory farming of animals is illegal. It is viewed by historians with the same moral horror that we view 19th century child labor. The meat ban of 2068 ended the slaughter of billions of animals. Yet, Kai is about to order a Wagyu beef steak. How? This is precision fermentation and 3D bioprinting. Decades ago, scientists catalogued the DNA sequence of the perfect Wagyu cow. Now, bioreactors cultivate those specific muscle and fat cells in a nutrient-rich bath. The fabricator prints the meat, arranging the fat marbling with mathematical perfection to maximize flavor. Kai takes a bite. It is chemically identical to a cow, but no animal suffered, and the water footprint is 99% lower than traditional farming. The water he drinks is recycled. In a closed-loop city, water is never lost. The moisture from Kai's breath, the shower water, the rain, it is all captured, purified through graphene filters that strip it down to the hydrogen and oxygen atoms, and remineralized. It is purer than any spring water from the ancient world. They discuss the news, not politics. Global governance is largely automated by the civic AI to ensure resource equity, but exploration. Did you see the transmission from Titan? A colleague asks. The terraforming drones landed, Kai responds. Yes, the atmosphere density is holding. Humanity has not just healed Earth, we have turned our eyes outward.
Chapter 6: Education and the Direct Download. While Kai works, his 10-year-old daughter, Ilara, is at school. Education in 2100 has abandoned the factory model of the 19th century. Children do not sit in rows memorizing facts. Why memorize the periodic table when your BCI can access the sum of human knowledge in a nanosecond? Instead, school is for skill acquisition and social dynamics. Ilara is in history class, but she isn't reading about the Cretaceous period, she is walking through it. The simulation is shared. Her classmates see the same dinosaur. Observe the feather patterns, the teacher's voice guides them. Ilara reaches out. The haptics in her gloves simulate the coarse texture of the proto-feathers. Later, for physics, they won't solve equations on paper. They will enter a zero-gravity simulation room and build structures to see how they collapse. They learn by doing. Scientific context. Neural plasticity training. By 2100, we understand the brain's critical periods. We use mild neurostimulation to keep the adult brain as plastic and capable of learning as a child's brain. Learning a new language in 2100 takes weeks, not years, assisted by BCI implants that map vocabulary directly onto the semantic centers of the brain. The global grid, energy and climate. As the sun dips below the horizon, we must talk about the engine that keeps this utopia running: energy. Kai looks up at the sky. A faint beam of light is visible, piercing the upper atmosphere. That is the orbital solar array. In the 2030s, we realized that ground-based solar had limits: nighttime, clouds, dust. So we moved the panels to space. Massive arrays, kilometers wide, float in geostationary orbit, harvesting the unfiltered power of the sun 24/7. They beam the energy down to Earth via microwaves to rectenna stations in the deserts. This is the global supergrid. When it is night in New York, the grid draws power from the noon sun in the Sahara. When Europe sleeps, it runs on the wind energy from the typhoons in the Pacific. Energy is shared globally, instantly, and with zero loss, thanks to room temperature superconductors discovered in 2045. Because energy is limitless and clean, we can do things that were previously impossible. We desalinate billions of gallons of ocean water to re-green the Sahara Desert. We scrub gigatons of CO2 from the air to stabilize the climate. We have turned the dial of the planet's thermostat back to safe. Chapter 7. The Global Grid. Energy and Climate. As the sun dips below the horizon, we must talk about the engine that keeps this utopia running: energy. Kai looks up at the sky. A faint beam of light is visible, piercing the upper atmosphere. That is the orbital solar array. In the 2030s, we realized that ground-based solar had limits: nighttime, clouds, dust. So, we moved the panels to space. Massive arrays, kilometers wide, float in geostationary orbit, harvesting the unfiltered power of the sun 24/7. They beam the energy down to Earth via microwaves to rectenna stations in the deserts. This is the global supergrid. When it is night in New York, the grid draws power from the noon sun in the Sahara. When Europe sleeps, it runs on the wind energy from the typhoons in the Pacific. Energy is shared globally, instantly, and with zero loss, thanks to room temperature superconductors discovered in 2045. Because energy is limitless and clean, we can do things that were previously impossible. We desalinate billions of gallons of ocean water to re-green the Sahara Desert. We scrub gigatons of CO2 from the air to stabilize the climate. We have turned the dial of the planet's thermostat back to safe. Chapter 8. The Evening and the Off-World Call. Visuals. Kai is back home. The lights are dim. He is sitting in a comfortable chair. A holographic sphere floats in the center of the room. It displays a red, dusty landscape. It is 2000 hours, the most important part of Kai's day. Connect to Mars Colony Prime, he commands. There is a delay. Even in 2100, we cannot break the speed of light. The signal takes 14 minutes to travel the 140 million miles between Earth and Mars. This is Kai's sister, Lena. She is a xenobotanist, one of the 100,000 permanent residents of Mars. "Hey Kai," Lena says. "The potato harvest in Sector 4 was successful. The soil composition is finally stabilizing. We might be able to plant trees in the biodome by next year. It's going to be green here. Someday." Kai records his reply. He tells her about the ocean, about the smell of the rain, things she hasn't experienced in 5 years. This is the reality of 2100. Humanity is a multi-planetary species. We have a backup drive, but the separation is real. The psychological toll of being an interplanetary species is the new frontier of mental health. Chapter 9. The Dreamscape. Sleep. The day ends. Kai lies in his smart matter bed. But the technology isn't done. As Kai drifts off, his BCI engages maintenance mode. This is dream engineering. For millions of years, humans processed trauma and memory randomly through dreams. Now, we can guide the process. Kai has selected a deep restorative program. The BCI will gently suppress anxiety-inducing nightmares and encourage theta wave states associated with physical healing and memory consolidation. He can also choose to learn while he sleeps. Tonight, he is passively absorbing the syntax of an ancient coding language, subliminally. As Kai sleeps, the city breathes. The autonomous repair drones emerge from their hives to fix cracks in the pavement. The atmospheric scrubbers hum quietly. The AI satellites watch for asteroids. Humanity made it. We survived the Great Filter. We survived our own adolescence. In 2100, an ordinary day is a miracle of engineering, biology, and cooperation. We didn't just build a better iPhone, we built a better world. But looking at Kai, sleeping peacefully, one question remains. With no disease to fight, no labor to exhaust us, and the universe at our doorstep, what happens to the human soul when the struggle for survival is over? What do we become when we have become gods? The Internet of Everything, IoE. In 2100, you don't go online. Everything is online. The chair you sit in monitors your posture. The fork you eat with monitors calories. The dust in the air monitors pollution. This data is fed into the Gaia mind, a decentralized AI that optimizes resource flow. Life extension treatments, the 150-year lifespan. Kai looks 35, but he is actually 70. Senolytic therapies remove zombie cells, senescent cells, that cause aging. CRISPR-Cas9 prime edits genetic errors that accumulate over time. Telomere extension keeps chromosomes young. Death is no longer an inevitability at 80. It is a choice or an accident. The economy of abundance. Money still exists, but its purpose has changed. Universal Basic Resources, UBR, guarantees housing, food, healthcare, and education for every human on Earth. Money is used only for status goods, original art, beachfront property, tickets to Mars, or handmade clothing. 2030s, the tipping point. Ice shelf collapses, massive migration from the equator. 2040s, the great geoengineering debate. Nations agree to spray stratospheric aerosols to dim the sun temporarily. 2050s, the fusion breakthrough. Commercial fusion reactors come online, crashing the price of energy. Carbon capture becomes profitable. 2070s, the stabilization. CO2 levels return to 350 parts per million. The rewilding of 30% of the Earth's surface begins. 2010, the Garden Earth. Humanity lives in dense, high-tech cities, leaving the wilderness to recover. Chapter 10, the dialogue with the machine. Let's look closer at the specific nature of Kai's work. We said earlier that he is a conductor for the AI, but what does that conversation actually sound like? It isn't just commands, it's a debate. In 2100, artificial intelligence doesn't just answer questions, it challenges premises. Kai, Arya, override the efficiency protocol on the Western Sea Wall. The curvature is too aggressive. It looks like a fortress. It needs to look like a coastline. Arya, I advise against that, Kai. The fractal pattern I generated dissipates wave energy with 99.4% efficiency. Your proposed organic curve reduces dissipation to 94%. In the event of a millennial storm, the breach probability rises from 0.01% to 4.5%. Kai, I don't care about the numbers, Arya. If it looks like a fortress, people won't walk on it. If they don't walk on it, they don't connect with the ocean. If they don't connect, they stop caring about the ecosystem. The social utility outweighs the structural risk. Reinforce the internal lattice with carbon nanotubes to compensate for the strength loss. Arya, processing, calculating material cost, adjusting carbon budget within acceptable parameters, redesigning. Warning, this design increases construction time by 48 hours. Kai, accepted, do it. This is the crux of the human role in the 22nd century. The AI fights for optimization. The human fights for aesthetics and psychology. We realized in the 2040s that a perfectly optimized world is a sterile one. An AI would design a city that is a perfect grid, efficient, dense, logical. But humans go insane in perfect grids. We need chaos. We need beauty. We need inefficiency. Kai's job is to inject human error back into the system to make it livable. Scientific context: generative adversarial networks, GANs, and value alignment. This scene illustrates the alignment problem. The AI, Aria, optimizes for a specific metric, safety/efficiency. The human, Kai, introduces a complex, unquantifiable metric, beauty/connection. In 2100, work is often about value alignment, ensuring the superintelligent systems serve human emotional needs, not just mathematical ones. Chapter 11. The Mausoleum of Data. The Digital Ancestor. We all have ancestors, but Kai can talk to his. In the mid-21st century, a service called Legacy became popular. People spent years feeding their journals, voice logs, emails, and video histories into large language models. They created digital echoes of themselves before they died. Kai sits on a wooden bench. He activates a small, antique-looking device.
Sam, hey kiddo, what's the date?
It's October 14th, 2100, Grandpa.
2100, wow. We used to make movies about this year. Usually involved flying cars and lasers, or robots enslaving us. Did the robots enslave us yet?
Not yet, Sam. They act as the plumbing. They keep the water running.
Good, good. You look tired, Kai. You working hard?
I am. We're redesigning the Jakarta coastline, trying to keep the sea back.
Jakarta. I remember when they said that city was sinking. I remember the panic. You know, that's what I don't get about your time, Kai. The quiet.
The quiet?
Yeah, in my day, 2024, 2025, there was this noise, always, in our heads. The news was screaming, the phone was buzzing. We were always scared. Scared of the climate, scared of the economy, scared of each other. We felt like we were driving a car 100 miles an hour toward a cliff and the brakes were cut.
We fixed the brakes, Sam.
I know, but do you appreciate it? That's what I worry about. You guys, you have clean air. You have free food. You live to be 150. But do you have grit? We were tough because we had to be. What makes you tough, Kai?
We don't have to be tough to survive anymore, Sam. We have to be wise to keep from destroying it all again. It's a different kind of struggle. It's harder to be disciplined when you have everything than when you have nothing. This conversation highlights the generational divide. The stress generation of the early 2000s versus the stewardship generation of 2100. Sam is an algorithm, yes, but he is trained on millions of data points from the real Sam. He is accurate to 99.8% of the original personality. Is this a ghost or just a very advanced chatbot? In 2100, the line is blurred. Many people visit these digital mausoleums to seek advice from the past, to remember what it was like when humanity was on the brink of extinction. Chapter 12. The Red Reality. Let's go deeper into Lena's transmission. While Earth is a paradise, Mars is a frontier town. It is the Wild West of the solar system. Lena: Kai, you asked me why I stay. You sent me that video of the rain in the Amazon, and you asked why I choose to live in a cave, drinking recycled urine that tastes like copper, breathing air that smells like ozone. Lena: Earth is finished. Don't get me wrong, it's beautiful, it's perfect, but it's a museum. You're a curator, Kai. You polish the glass. Here we are building. Every breath I take here is a victory. Every tomato we grow is a miracle against the entropy of the universe. Lena: we had a pressure drop in Sector 7 last week. A seal failed. We had 90 seconds to patch it before the air vented. We moved. God, Kai, we moved like a single organism. No politics, no debate, just survival. There's a clarity here. On Earth, you have the luxury of apathy. On Mars, apathy kills you. Lena touches on the crisis of purpose that plagues the utopian Earth. On Earth, the system keeps you alive. On Mars, you keep you alive. This is why 10 million people have emigrated to the colonies. They aren't running away from Earth, they are running toward consequence. Scientific context: Mars colonization realities. By 2100, Mars is not terraformed, that takes centuries. It is para-terraformed, domes and underground lava tubes. The challenge isn't technology, it's biology. Low gravity, 38% of Earth, causes muscle atrophy and vision problems. Lena likely wears a gravity suit, a tight exoskeleton that provides resistance to simulate Earth's weight on her bones. Chapter 13. The social fabric. Evening entertainment. It is Friday night. How do post-scarcity humans party? They don't drink alcohol, at least not the toxic kind that destroys livers. They consume synth-cohol. It's a synthetic molecule that binds to the same GA-bar receptors in the brain as alcohol, providing the relaxation and social lubrication. But it comes with a chemical antidote. At the end of the night, Kai will swallow an enzyme pill that instantly neutralizes the synth-cohol, sobering him up in 5 minutes with zero hangover. They are in a zero-G dance hall. By manipulating magnetic fields and diamagnetic materials in their clothing, the room cancels out gravity. They dance in 3 dimensions. Listen to their conversation. Friend 1, a genetic sculptor. I finally cracked the code for the bioluminescent orchids. I got them to pulse in time with a heartbeat. Friend 2, a fusion engineer. Are you going to release the open source code? Friend 1, of course. I don't own the genes. I just arrange them. Notice what they don't talk about. They don't ask, "What do you do?" as a way to gauge income. Income is irrelevant. They ask, "What are you creating?" In 2100, social hierarchy is determined by reputation score. Not a creepy government social credit system, but a decentralized community metric. How much have you contributed to the public domain? How much art have you shared? How many scientific problems have you helped solve? Kai is respected not because he is rich, but because his designs have improved the mental health of millions. Chapter 14. The final reflection. As Kai walks home, we must confront the shadow of this world. Is it perfect? No. The human brain evolved on the savannah, hunting and gathering, constantly scanning for threats. When you remove the threats, the brain invents new ones. Anxiety in 2100 is different. It is existential. It is the paradise paradox. When you have everything, you have no excuse for unhappiness. And yet, depression still exists. We conquered hunger, we conquered energy, we conquered aging, but we never conquered ourselves. Kai stops to look at a statue in the park. It's a statue of a 21st century child wearing a mask, looking at a smartphone. A memorial to the transition era. He touches the statue. We made it. He turns and enters his building. The lights rise to greet him. The day is over. This is not a fantasy. This is a forecast. Every technology you saw in this video, maglevs, CRISPR, fusion, neural links, is currently in development. The seeds of 2100 are being planted in the labs of 2026. The question is not if we can build this world. The physics allows it. The engineering is possible. The question is, do we have the wisdom to get there without burning it all down first? The year 2100 is waiting. Will it be a tomb or will it be a garden? That choice is yours.